Today's show is brought to you by True Classic Tees. Now, y'all seen us wear these tees on the show before, man. Extra comfy. And I love the fact that when you're talking about the design of them, I talked about, man, that athletic tailored feel, but at the same time, a little bit more room in that midsection for the guys that used to have them six packs that no longer reside with six packs anymore. But either way, man, it's a dope site, man. They got dope material up there, man, in terms of the t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, sweatshirts, sweatpants, things like that, man. And as Deke can tell you as well, they do feel really nice and comfy, man. So I definitely like that. But more important, he said, yeah, this is true. This is definitely true, man. But more importantly, we got a promo code for you, baby. That promo code is MOATS. If you use that, you get 25% off at trueclassictees.com, baby. So, like I said, man, don't waste time, man. Get with the cool kids, baby, because these shirts for guys or ladies, you will enjoy them, okay? Trust me on this one. So, shout out to True Classic Tees, and more importantly, shout out to them for sponsoring today's show. You are ready to get to the final, which is just basically the big preview as we talk about this Jets and Steelers matchup, baby. So, I'm trying to think. Do I want to go ahead and start with my things that I think will have advantages there? And
I mean, the primetime matchup, Sauce Gardner versus
Pickens,
X-receiver, right? Whatever receiver.
It is. Whoever he's matched up with, I'm excited for, bro.
How do you think it's going to play out? Because Deontay's technically our number one.
Honestly, I think Pickens has the best matchup for him because when you talk about Deontay and Sauce are built fairly the same. So some of the advantages that Deontay has in terms of his quick and stuff like that, I don't know if that's going to be readily available versus Sauce Gardner. But when you talk about Pickens, the size element of it, when you talk about stretching him down the field, that's the part for me where I'm kind of excited. Now, I know everybody highlighted the one play that he had where he's going downfield against Jamar Chase. And some people even talked about the throw. If you put it a little bit more on the front side of it, you're giving Jamar a chance to run to it
Joe
versus
Burrow
it being
sucks,
back
man.
shoulder.
He just needs to make better throws.
He's been super inconsistent at the start of this thing. Because
I'm like joking, but
no, in all seriousness, no, bro, he's been super inconsistent though, bro. He has been. And I tell you should have to pick this game too, man. It just got dropped. It hit dude in the chest. He just dropped it. But when you're watching Sauce, I'm like, bro, he nice. But I think T. Higgins got him as well, man. That's when T. Higgins took that shot too. I forgot who it was. The safety came over and popped him right in the chin, man. But yeah, I think that George Pickens is the one. If George is matched up against him, man,
give him the ball.
I'm
He's
not
always
scared.
open.
That's what I'm saying. If it's 50-50, you put it out there, you give him a chance. Mitch showed that he could do that. He showed that his ball placement on some of these 50-50 balls, especially in that Browns game, he can be very accurate with that. So that's kind of how I look at that thing, man. But at the same time, don't go over there half-stepping, you know? Because Sauce can't make plays. He definitely can.
Yeah, I mean, week in and week out, I'm liking our wide receiver matchups.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we need more from Mitch. We need more from the offense as a whole.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. Can we just, go five wide and nickel and dime these defenses and get these dudes the ball? They're playmakers.
Well, and honestly, man, when you're talking about this particular matchup, because the Jets don't have the same type of pass rush that we've feared or at times given us problems, and with our offensive line improving as well, I think this is potentially one of them games where you do test this secondary out, whether you're talking taking them shots deep downfield or, more importantly, Pat Freiermuth. You alluded to it early when you said Quincy Williams. He's not playing. He's out. He's hurt. So now you're talking C.J. Mosley, and they're going to bring somebody else in. Obviously, Quan Alexander's still a good player, but I don't think any of those dudes should be able to compete or keep up with a Pat Freiermuth when you're talking about feeding him the ball more. That's the guy for me that I think when you're talking about attacking this team, he has to be a guy that you circle and say, yo, we're going to feature him, man. So I'm hoping so.
That's what everyone's been calling for.
I'm hoping so because it's there. This is the matchup for it, man.
Literally,
this is the matchup for it, man.
A lot of people are in disagreement. Oh, it's probably, 80 to 90% in favor of putting Kenny in right now.
Mm-hmm.
But people are in disagreement over that. I think the one thing everyone can agree on, actually two things, get Pickens the ball more and get Muth the ball more.
Yes.
That's what we're looking for out of this offense. Because we know Deontay's going to get his. He's going to get his 10 targets or whatever it is.
You know that.
Claypool, cool. I would like to get him the ball more too, but we see it in Pickens, man.
Yeah.
We see it. We see the it factor. And also with Muth, he could be one of those game-breaking tight ends like a Travis Kelce or a George Kittle out there. And that's what we're waiting for. He's got it. It's just, can we get him the ball more?
He definitely does. When we intentionally target him, you see he rewards us, man. But
yeah, that Moss last week.
That's what I'm saying,
awesome.
bro.
It was,
absolutely.
And it was so. It looked
It
so
looked effortless.
easy.
It looked effortless, man.
It looked like he wasn't even trying. It was borderline in triple coverage.
Yeah, it looked effortless, man. Absolutely. But he's the one for me where I'm like, man, we got to feature him. We have to attack that part. If you're not wanting to attack these corners, if you want to stay away from Sauce, I don't think you need to. You respect him, you acknowledge him, but I don't think you need to fear him. Not yet. I don't see that just yet, man. But
he's not Deion Sanders in his prime yet.
No, he's not Darrell Revis. Yeah. Like he's not.
He's not Revis Island.
He's
yet.
Still dope, but he's young. And with young corners, it's like, man, you don't shy away from young corners, man. You keep testing them dudes, man, until proven otherwise. So we will see. But I think that that's definitely a matchup that, I'll be a little excited about, man. Another thing, though, that I think is going to bode well for us is when we get the rushing that passer against this team, man. We should be able to create havoc and create that type of feel that we had in week 1 against the Bengals. We really didn't get it in week 2 against the Patriots. We talked about Jacoby Brissett having a ton of time. This matchup this week, man, our pass rush should be able to create that hostile environment across the board, whether you're talking our interior D linemen, outside linebackers, shoot, even Malik Reed. He should even be able to have some success as well because he's a good player that's just getting up to speed in our defense. But to me, that pass rush is something that we should be able to feel, and they should provide that wave for us. But we got to stop that run first. It's very important that we stop that run. Very important. Very important. But if we can, that pass rush, man, it takes advantage.
Literally the same story from the last 3 weeks heading into these games.
It is, bro.
Stop the run first because we already talked about the Jets, how they got a nice little thing going whenever they get that rushing attack in rhythm. So just stop that, make them drop back to pass, and then we'll tee off on them with Highsmith, especially against that left tackle who is a journeyman, as we talked about. It's that simple. Stop the run. Stop the run, get up, make them do some of the stuff that they were doing with Flacco where you're making him throw the ball around the field and hopefully get some turnovers and just control the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what it is.
I should be the coordinator or something.
Well,
GM coordinator or something.
No, think about this, though.
How about a combo? OC, GM.
Just remember, plans are easy. Execution is the difference. So I'm sure Matt Canada has a great plan every week. But when the execution isn't there early on, the adjustments and how fast you can make them and making the right adjustment as well, not just making an adjustment for the sake of making an adjustment, actually making the correct adjustment. That's the other part. So as much as we like to joke about it, man, that thing's kind of difficult, baby. But we got to stop Garrett Wilson as well, man.
Probably no Witherspoon this week, I'm guessing. If he hasn't even practiced Wednesday, it's a hamstring.
I don't think we have Witherspoon this week. But that's the one for me where I'm just like, okay.
Return of Pierre Island, huh?
I don't want to return him versus this one.
Well, we'll have what? Nah, we won't need it.
It'll be
Arthur
Levi.
Mollett on the inside or maybe a Trey Norwood. Depending on Minka, Trey Norwood might be replacing Minka.
You're right. That changes a lot. Like, and this is Garrett Wilson, who's, like I said, starting off to have, he's having a nice start to his NFL career thus far. But, yeah, that's something that I am slightly concerned about, man. It's like, stopping the run is definitely going to be the most important part, but making sure that we minimize Garrett Wilson and not let him have one of them games either, man. He hasn't just yet.
It's so hard for me to think that it's going to happen in Zach Wilson's first game back.
And I do agree with you, but the thing is this, what does it have to look like? It doesn't have to be him having a Amari Cooper-like game, but if you hit him on a deep shot and now he gets you 3 or 4 of these little crossing routes and stuff like that, before you know it, we're looking at like, man, this dude done took over the game. And it's literally just like that. And they do like to take the shots downfield. And all I'm saying is if we don't have a Kello out there, now granted Minka was full practice, but if he's in that equation as well, not being available, it just makes me a little bit nervous of like, yo, all right, how are we handling that situation? Now we got alternatives or ways to go about it, but also are we going to actually take that approach or are we going to play like how we've been playing, which is different?
What do you mean by that? Giving
just
a Kello or giving a
giving
cornerback
those guys
more help,
right? Versus what we've been doing is like, nah, we're gonna play our coverage. What we play our coverage, we're gonna run our too high. We want to run our too high, and you just gotta, win. And if you don't, we kind of see what that looks like at times for us.
We needed to probably do that more against the Browns too.
Yeah,
because
but we didn't.
You knew they were gonna You knew they were gonna run the ball a fair amount, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
We weren't as much, cover 2 and more focused on just secondary type of stuff.
But we just didn't account for Jacoby Brissett actually playing that type of game either,
Yeah, and you're right. Cooper got more open than I would have liked.
Yeah.
Even without the help.
Mm-hmm.
The way I see it playing, like the only way I think they sling it out and stuff is if we're up and they do exactly what they've done these first 3 weeks and they just spread it out and they just don't give a shit. And then we start slacking on defense and play prevent, but then all of a sudden they get in a rhythm a little bit. We get the ball in offense. Now it's pressure on the offense to actually sustain drives so the defense isn't back out on the field as the Jets are trying to get a comeback going. That's the only way I really see this going in a bad direction for this defense.
I'm hoping.
As if we get up and then, it happened last year with the Broncos.
Has.
You remember
Absolutely
the Broncos game?
happened. Absolutely.
We were in control that whole game. It happened the one time against the Eagles. Was it the same year?
Yeah, it was the same. It was back-to-back
No.
games.
2021 Broncos, 2020 Eagles. Yeah. Where we got
you're
up.
talking about the Fulgham and Quez Watkins game.
Fulgham. I don't think Watkins was on the team.
No.
It Fulgham, there was Ward, too.
Dude. Yeah.
Ward got some yards on us. It's like we were up double digits, but then they came back and we're just letting Carson Wentz run around out there and just throw up bombs. Yeah. And then same thing with the Broncos. We were up early. We had control of that game. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, our defense is slacking a little bit. Bridgewater's finding a little rhythm.
Taking off.
Yeah, it literally came down to a final pass that James Pierre broke up in the red zone. So that's the only way I see this being close, or just let's just say our defense being bad, is if we actually play good defense, but then the second half we start slacking or something. Yeah. Because we should be fine from start to finish. It's just if something stupid like that happens.
We definitely should, man. We definitely should.
What else you got?
I mean, those are my big things, man, in terms of what we need to be worried about and also advantages I think we're going to have. So I'm definitely liking that. We've hit on the matchup that, to me, is like the big one for us defensively. Alex Highsmith versus Connor McDermott. That's the one. He's got to win that, man. He's got to win that. And I'm just hoping that offensively we don't come out here with this like over-the-top respect for this Jets secondary, man. I hope that we actually are aggressive and take some chances with them, man, because to me, man, I think we have the pieces in place that can match up with them, man, if given the right opportunity.
What should be the over-under on Highsmith sacks this game? And would you take the over-under?
Oh, man.
1.5?
I would set it at 1.5 because that's probably the realest. I would take the over just because I like them a lot. But at the same time, knowing the Jets and just respecting their coaching staff, I can see it being a scenario where he only gets one because they
scheme it up.
They scheme it up, absolutely. We're gonna roll. We're gonna play action away. We're gonna give you tight end help over there. We're gonna boot away from that. And Highsmith wins one early on, but then after that, it's a whole bunch of just, all right, we're giving this dude help. We're gonna put some guys in the C gap, kind of like what we did to Myles Garrett last week, where you saw the different ways of how we helped Dan Moore out. Sometimes Dan Moore just blocked by himself. Others, it was the tight end over there. It was the running back releasing over there. It was a receiver over there. It was somebody always in his way to just make him uncomfortable. I could see them easily taking that same approach with Highsmith because of that matchup and the discrepancy between the two players.
Makes sense.